Welcome to About Mansfield. It is your audio newspaper. I'm Steve Casillo, broadcasting from the SoMark studios, along with the About Mansfield news team. Colleen Daniel, you know where she is. She's out there in Studio West. This is the May 21st, 2025, 272nd edition. Coming up, it's Mansfield News, Talk, and Information.
And a little later in the episode, you will have a chance to win a $25 gift card to a Mansfield restaurant of your choice with our Mansfield Trivia Question, courtesy of Joe Jenkins Insurance.
Let's take a look at the stories we're covering this week.
Beloved Lake Ridge teacher passes away unexpectedly.
Soccer team president delivers message of hope for Mansfield.
Historic log cabin to be moved to the Mann House property.
Mansfield boy receives Make-A-Wish trip of a lifetime.
Mansfield Library asks, do you like a good challenge?
Parks Department offers 100 hours of fun.
Upgrades begin on Linear Trail Phase 3B.
And in sports, legacy baseball season comes to an end.
And in the talk segment, Steve talks in studio with Firefly expert Ben Pfeiffer and Mansfield property owner Louis Hardin about an exciting opportunity for Mansfield area residents. We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. This is About Mansfield.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool Hand, Cool Hand, Cool Hand, where excellence is still cool.
Are you ready to create unforgettable memories? Picture this, an enchanting event venue nestled amidst breathtaking landscapes with panoramic views right here in Mansfield. The Grand View Event Center is the perfect setting to bring your vision to life. From intimate gatherings to large-scale extravaganzas, the Grand View has flexible spaces to accommodate any occasion, be it a graduation or school function, art exhibition, or birthday or anniversary party. Book your next unforgettable experience at thegrandviewmansfield.com. That's thegrandviewmansfield.com. The Grand View Event Center, where memories are made and dreams become reality. Book your event today.
I'm Sylvia Duncan, a 2025 finisher of the Boston Marathon, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
This portion of the news is brought to you by the Grand View Event Venue in Mansfield.
The Mansfield ISD community is mourning the loss of a Lake Ridge teacher who passed away last week unexpectedly. Brandon Austin was a dedicated and highly respected educator within the Mansfield ISD. He taught AP European History at Lake Ridge High School and was known for his engaging teaching style and commitment to student success. Austin also taught at Legacy High School and spent time at Ben Barber Innovation Academy. He was recognized as a Mansfield ISD Distinguished Educator multiple times, including in 2021. Just recently, students shared reflections about him for Teacher Appreciation Week, many echoing the same sentiments expressed by former students over the past 2 decades. They consistently described him as a teacher who made learning fun and engaging, with lessons that remained memorable even years later. More than anything, Mr. Austin was known for building strong, meaningful relationships with his students. He was an exceptional educator whose impact reached far beyond the classroom. Outside of the classroom, Mr. Austin played a pivotal role in extracurricular activities, notably serving as a coach for the academic decathlon teams at both Lake Ridge High School and Mansfield High School. Under his guidance, these teams achieved significant success, including earning medals at state competitions. His contributions to education were recognized when he was honored as an MISD Distinguished Educator in 2021, reflecting his passion and excellence in teaching. His loss is deeply felt across the MISD community, where he was celebrated for his compassionate nature and unwavering dedication to his students and colleagues. Mr. Austin's legacy endures through the countless lives he touched and the lasting impact he made on education in Mansfield. The cause of death is still undetermined. Brandon Austin was 50.
As construction continues on the new Mansfield Stadium, excitement is building not just for the future of the home of North Texas Soccer Club, but for the promise of jobs, economic growth, and the potential of a role in the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Set to open for the 2026 season, the stadium is being hailed as more than just a sports venue. For Dan Hunt, president and co-owner of FC Dallas and North Texas SC, it's a symbol of regional progress and community investment.
Well, it's about community, it's about economic impact, and it's about jobs. And that's what the stadium will provide. It brings the community together to have a first-class facility, which is what this is.
In addition to serving as the new home for North Texas SC, the venue is being designed to host a variety of events, which Hunt emphasized will generate employment opportunities and attract consistent foot traffic to the area.
We're going to have so many events, and that just creates jobs here at the venue, not just for North Texas SC, but also the people that work at the stadium.
The timing of the stadium's opening aligns perfectly with a historic opportunity, the FIFA World Cup 2026. Hunt revealed that Mansfield is being considered as a potential base camp, a training and lodging hub for one of the national teams participating in the tournament.
If we're selected as a base camp, then that's really a gigantic shot in the arm. Base camps are the facilities where visiting national teams pick for World Cup 2026. And what occurs is that a team will move into a market, much like Mansfield, for the weeks preceding the World Cup tournament and then stay through the tournament as long as they're still in it. So you could literally have thousands and thousands of fans in the same community as their national team with their coaching staff, their medical staff, all here. And effectively, these teams create a city within a community.
According to Hunt, hosting a base camp could bring a major influx of international visits, team, staff, and fans, all of whom contribute to the local economy over an extended period.
And so with thousands and thousands of fans, they want to see their teams train. They want to see the players around if they can in the community. They want to create their own ecosystem of supporting that national team. There will only be so many tickets available, and there'll be a number of fans that come to base camp markets that never actually see a World Cup match. But they're in that market spending their money and supporting the local businesses and supporting their national team.
The potential of economic impact is significant. Hunt cited figures estimating that hosting a prominent national team could bring between $5 to $10 million in local revenue through hotel stays, dining, shopping, and entertainment.
Unlike a Super Bowl where the average fan comes to stay for a couple nights in a market, the average stay of a fan during the World Cup has to be somewhere between 7 and 14 days.
Though there's a chance that North Texas SC may start the 26 season with a few games on the road, Hunt confirmed that the stadium will be ready on time.
The stadium will be ready for the 2026 season. I hope we're a two-time defending MLS Next Pro champion when we open up in the stadium next year.
Beyond soccer, Hunt emphasized that Mansfield Stadium will be a venue for everyone in the community.
We're going to have something for everybody. You may not be a soccer fan, but working in conjunction with Rev and our partners there, we will have something for everybody. And this is going to be a massive community asset that I promise you will benefit the community financially through economic impact.
Ultimately, Hunt sees Mansfield as the ideal location for this new chapter.
When you think about the communities, you want to pick a community that feels like home, and this feels like it, and it's a gigantic economic driver in this community. If you look at the jobs that exist here, you look at the real estate market and the explosion that's happened, proximity to all the other cities here, and so we're really excited about what the future of this means for North Texas SC.
Hunt was in town Wednesday afternoon speaking to members and guests of the Mansfield Business Alliance at the Vault restaurant.
Mansfield Parks and Recreation is preparing to relocate a historic log cabin from the Cook family property to the nearby Mann House site. The cabin will become part of a broader museum and education space, where it will serve as a demonstration site focused on food preparation techniques from the late 1800s and early 1900s. Due to the cabin's age and condition, moving it intact was not feasible. The city brought in Architexas, a firm that specializes in historic preservation, to evaluate the structure. Their report recommended a log-by-log deconstruction and reconstruction at the new location to maintain the cabin's integrity. City staff are now coordinating with museum and historical services to carry out the plan. Final designs have been submitted and are pending city permits. The project is expected to go out for bids by early summer.
A Mansfield second grader is headed to Disney World this summer thanks to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. 9-year-old Joey Williams, a student at Glen Harmon Elementary School, was surprised with the news during a school assembly Tuesday morning. Joey, who received a heart transplant last December, will visit Disney World, Universal Studios, and SeaWorld with his mother and 3 sisters. Joey has faced serious health challenges since birth, including 6 heart surgeries. After recovering from his transplant and being medically cleared to travel, the Make-A-Wish Foundation stepped in to fulfill his dream. His mother, Lakeisha Boyle, helped reveal the surprise during the school's awards ceremony with the help of Principal Regina Crane and Joey's classmates. Boyle said she wanted to share the moment at school to thank the staff and students for their support throughout Joey's medical journey.
The Mansfield Public Library is launching its annual Summer Reading Challenge, inviting residents of all ages to take part in a season of reading and learning. The program begins Saturday, May 31st, and encourages participants to read on at least 25 days throughout the summer. There's no set time requirement. Any amount of reading counts. Participants can track their progress using the Beanstack platform on a computer or mobile device. Library officials say the challenge is designed to help prevent the summer slide, a term used to describe loss of academic skills over the summer months. The initiative is open to everyone, from toddlers to seniors, and aims to keep minds active and engaged. Along with reading, participants can complete activities to earn digital badges and qualify for grand prize drawings. The challenge ends at 11:59 p.m. on July 24th, with winners announced the next day. A celebration party is scheduled for July 25th. More information and registration are available at mansfieldtexas.gov/SRC.
And when you're finished reading for the day, Colleen, Mansfield Parks and Recreation is inviting local families to take part in a free summer initiative designed to promote outdoor play and community connection. Called 100 Hours of Play, the program encourages children to log 100 hours of screen-free, unstructured playtime between June 5th and July 24th. Participants who reach that milestone will earn a prize, which can be claimed at the end of summer party on Friday, July 25th at the MAC. For those who cannot attend the party, they can pick up their prize also at the MAC through August 16th. Families can register for the program online. They can pick up their official play passports at the kickoff event on Thursday, June 5th at Chandler Park or at the MAC starting June 6th. The passport helps track hours and includes weekly challenges and play events scheduled throughout the city. Free weekly events known as Playdates begin June 5th and run through July 25th. Highlights include story time and bubbles at the library, a close-up look at city trucks and tractors, classic games at the Mann House Museum, and an evening fishing experience at Lanner's administrative office. Parents are required to stay with their children during these events, which are open to the public and designed to help families explore Mansfield in new ways. More details are available on the Mansfield Parks and Recreation website and social media channels. Again, registration is free. The prizes are awarded to every child who completes the 100-hour goal.
Construction began Thursday on Phase 3B of the Walnut Creek Linear Trail. The new segment will extend the trail from Cannon and Carlin Roads to the Oliver Nature Park entrance. The project includes sidewalk improvements and a pedestrian underpass beneath Matlock Road near the Walnut Creek Bridge. Initial work will take place along Matlock Road. Construction on Cannon Road is scheduled to start after the Mansfield ISD summer break, with all work expected to be completed before the new school year begins. The project is part of a $10.5 million trail bond approved by voters in 2022. According to the city, it was funded through growth and did not increase the tax rate.
The season has come to an end for Legacy Baseball. We'll talk about it because sports is next.
I'm Philip Washington, Chief Investment Officer of Stonehill Wealth Management and host of the Wealth Building Made Simple podcast. First book I read in college was Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it changed my life. And since then, I've read tons and tons of books on money. And what I've done is taken those lessons, simplified them, and I talk about those lessons on my podcast, Wealth Building Made Simple. So come hang out with us. We're on every major platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on YouTube. Wealth Building Made Simple.
Hey, it's Steve Casillo, and are you ready to make your voice heard? Want to bring out your ideas to life through captivating conversations and engaging visuals? Look no further than Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio, your one-stop destination for award-winning audio and video podcast recording. Equipped with cutting-edge microphones, crystal clear audio recording, and high-definition cameras, we're here to turn your ideas into engrossing content. But it's not just about the equipment. We're dedicated to bringing out the best in your content. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, we're here to elevate your podcasting game. We'll even help you with intro music, transitions, voiceover, and that professional polish that sets your podcast apart. So whether you're into interviews, storytelling, or simply sharing your expertise, Podcast Mansfield can help bring your podcasting dreams to life. Visit podcastmansfield.com. Podcast Mansfield, where creating your podcast masterpiece has never been easier.
At Methodist Mansfield Medical Center, we've been caring for our home team for over 15 years. Today, you'll find award-winning physicians on the medical staff, advanced neurosurgery, a Level 3 trauma center, critical care for newborns, and comprehensive orthopedic care. Methodist Mansfield, delivering the care our friends, neighbors, and home team depend on. That's community, and why so many people trust Methodist.
In sports, the Legacy Bronco boys baseball team has concluded its season after a strong playoff run, reaching the regional semifinals further than any of the 5 MISD baseball teams. The Broncos faced the Prosper Eagles in the best-of-3 series. Legacy opened with a 2-0 victory on Thursday, but dropped the following 2 games 2-1 and 4-1, ending their postseason bid. We say congratulations to both the Broncos baseball team and the Lady Broncos girls softball team for successful seasons and postseasons, as well as a promising outlook for next year. With the school year wrapping up, high school sports coverage is going to take a break. However, as area residents prepare to welcome the North Texas Soccer Club to Mansfield, listeners can expect expanded sports coverage in that area in the weeks ahead. And that, my friends, is a look at sports. If you have a comment about the show, the news, whatever's on your mind locally, the good, the bad, the ugly, you can reach us by voicemail at 817-435-2938. Again, that's 817-435-2938. This coming Saturday, May 24th, is National Brothers Day. Do you have a brother? I have a brother. Anyway, National Brothers Day recognizes the role of brothers in our lives. While not an official holiday, it's a time when many reflect on the unique bond between siblings. Brothers are often seen as protectors, mentors, or even the family comedian. The day encourages people to reconnect with their brothers or anyone they might consider a brother figure, including brothers-in-law or close friends. Typical ways to observe the day include spending time together, sharing memories, or enjoying favorite pastimes, whether it's a meal out, a hike, or just simply catching up. For many, it's a reminder of the lasting impact of brotherly relationships. By the way, this coming Monday is Memorial Day. City Hall, the MAC, the library, the animal shelter will all be closed, as well as all other city services. Trash and recycling services will operate on their regular schedule. Also, it's advised that you check with your favorite retailer or restaurant before venturing out to see if they're open for business. Here's wishing you a meaningful Memorial Day as we remember and honor those who served.
Coming up after the break, we turn the page to the features section.
I'm Angel Biasatti, and today we're talking about something that's so simple, but often overlooked: getting outside and enjoying the beauty of spring. And Methodist Mansfield News to Know.
In this week's Cocktail of the Week, we're elevating a classic Italian brunch cocktail that's perfect for celebrating the arrival of warmer days.
We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. I'm Colleen Daniel, and this is About Mansfield.
This portion of the news was brought to you by the Grandview Event Venue in Mansfield.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool hand, cool hand, cool hand, where excellence is feel cool.
Congratulations to Amber Waters, who knew that Mansfield ISD manages 49 schools within the district. You can see the breakdown on the district's Facts and Figures webpage. When we come back, this week's trivia question. I'm Colleen Daniel, and this is About Mansfield.
Hi, this is Joe Jenkins with Joe Jenkins Farmers Insurance, specializing in auto, home, commercial, and life insurance. I was born and raised here in Mansfield, Texas. We're active in the community, and Mansfield's a town we really care about. Our office has over 30 years' experience in the insurance industry, and we're passionate about what we do and about customer service. For a free quote, please visit our website at joejenkinsinsurance.com or give us a call at 817-472-6058. Once again, that website is joejenkinsinsurance.com.
It is time right now for the highly coveted, wildly popular About Mansfield Trivia Question. If you are the first person to email the correct answer to trivia@aboutmansfield.com, you will receive a $25 gift card to a Mansfield area restaurant of your choice, brought to you by Joe Jenkins Insurance. Whether you're looking for homeowners, auto, commercial, or any other type of insurance, Joe has helped Mansfield area residents understand the insurance coverage that best fit their needs since 2010. You can find him on the internet at joejenkinsinsurance.com. Colleen, it's your turn.
Well, Steve, while traveling the 800 block of Main Street here in Mansfield, one's little eye might spy a monument in the shape of a headstone in the memory of Earl C. Driscoll, who lived from 1883 to 1912. Inscribed on the headstone, Driscoll's pioneering efforts, quote, made easy the way for Tarrant County's present highway system, end quote. But Driscoll was not a highwayman. This week's trivia question is, what did Earl C. Driscoll do for a living? Email your answer to trivia@aboutmansfield.com. Again, what did Earl C. Driscoll do for a living? Good luck, and thanks to Joe Jenkins Insurance for the gift card.
Hey, you guys, I'm Sean Surface with Second Chance Mentors, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield, your audio newspaper. Let's open up the features section. Angel Biasatti is here and tells us about the benefits of getting outdoors in Methodist Mansfield News to Know. Angel?
Spring is here, and there's something magical about this time of year. The flowers are blooming, the birds are singing, and the air is just a little bit warmer. It's the season of renewal, and what better way to refresh your mind and spirit than by stepping outside? But here's the catch. Too many of us are glued to our screens these days. Whether it's our phones, our laptops, or our tablets, we spend a lot more time indoors, often plugged into the digital world, than we do outdoors. It's time to change that. Let's talk about why it's so important to get outside and unplug this summer. First off, there are huge benefits to spending time outdoors, especially in the spring. Getting outside can reduce stress, boost your mood, and improve your overall well-being. In fact, studies show that just 20 minutes in nature can lower cortisol levels, the hormone related to stress, and help you feel more relaxed. I know what you're thinking. I don't have time to spend outdoors. But the truth is, you don't need to go for a long hike or spend an entire day in the park to reap the benefits. Even small moments, like a walk around the block, a few minutes on your porch, or sitting outside with a good book, can have a big impact on your mental and physical health. And let's not forget the sunshine. One of the best things about spring is the opportunity to soak up some natural vitamin D. Exposure to sunlight helps your body produce vitamin D, which is crucial for bone health, immune function, and even mood regulation. Just a little bit of time outside can boost your energy levels and leave you feeling more vibrant. But here's the key. Getting outside isn't about the sunshine or the fresh air. It's also about taking a break from our screens. Technology has its place, but sometimes it feels like we're constantly connected, distracted, and often overwhelmed. When's the last time you spent an afternoon outside without checking your phone every 5 minutes? It's tough, right? But that's why now, more than ever, it's important to make time to disconnect and really enjoy the present moment. So how can you make sure you're getting outside and disconnecting from the digital world? Here's a few tips. Set boundaries for your digital use. Maybe it's an hour in the morning where you check your email and then put your phone away for a walk or some time outdoors. Or make an agreement with yourself to leave the phone inside while you enjoy the outdoors. No text, no scrolling, just you and nature. You don't need to go on a grand adventure to enjoy nature. Start by taking a walk in your neighborhood, enjoying a coffee on your porch, or sitting outside during lunch. Small amounts of time outdoors can help recharge your body and mind. This is a great time of year to try a new outdoor activity, whether it's hiking, cycling, or even something as simple as a nature scavenger hunt with your kids. Moving your body in nature is a great way to get exercise while clearing your mind. Getting outside can also have great social benefits. Take a friend, a family member, or your pet along for the ride. Whether you're walking in the park, having a picnic, or simply chatting outside with a friend, being in nature can make socializing even more enjoyable. And of course, don't forget to just breathe. Nature has a way of helping us slow down and be present in the moment. Sometimes the best thing you can do is simply sit outside, take a few deep breaths, and appreciate the beauty around you. Remember, this time of year, it's all about renewal and rejuvenation. So my challenge to you this spring, put down your phone, step outside, and take time to enjoy the sunshine, the fresh air, and the natural beauty that surrounds you. You'll be amazed at how much better you feel physically, mentally, and emotionally. I'm Angel Biasatti for About Mansfield podcast.
Shaken or stirred, you know it's going to be good as Brian Certain elevates a classic Italian brunch cocktail that's perfect for warmer days in this week's Cocktail of the Week. Brian.
Welcome back to our Garden Party Sipper series, where we're exploring cocktails designed to enhance your outdoor gatherings this May. Today's feature is the Mint and Peach Bellini, a fragrant variation on the traditional Venetian cocktail that brings together the effervescence of Prosecco, the luscious sweetness of ripe peaches, and the refreshing aromatics of fresh garden mint. But let's break down what makes this cocktail so special. First off, Prosecco, 4 to 5 ounces per serving. This Italian sparkling wine provides the backbone of our cocktail. Look for a dry or extra dry, not brut Prosecco. Brands like La Marca, Mionetti, or Rinaudo are widely available and perfect for this application. The slight sweetness will complement our peach puree beautifully. Make sure it's well chilled before serving, ideally refrigerate for at least 24 hours prior to use. The peach puree. You're going to use 2 ounces per serving. While you can use a store-bought peach nectar or puree in a pinch, fresh is always infinitely better. For the more vibrant flavor, select ripe, fragrant peaches. They should yield slightly to gentle pressure and smell distinctly, guess what? Peachy. For each cup of puree, you'll need approximately 3 to 4 medium-sized peaches. Peel them, remove the pits, and blend until smooth. If the peaches aren't quite at the peak of ripeness, you can add a teaspoon of honey, agave, or simple syrup to enhance the sweetness. Third, fresh mint, 4 to 5 leaves per serving, plus sprigs for garnish. Look for bright green, unwilted leaves with a strong aroma when gently rubbed. Spearmint is traditional, but chocolate mint or pineapple mint can be an interesting dimension if you happen to grow those varieties in your garden or you have access to a great market. Ensure the leaves are thoroughly washed to remove any dirt or garden residue. And remember always ice. You need lots and lots of ice when you're making cocktails, not only for chilling the peach puree, but for the cocktail as well. And then optional, a peach slice or a mint sprig for garnish. Glassware. The traditional vessel for a Bellini is a champagne flute. Its tall, narrow shape helps maintain the bubbles in the Prosecco longer. For our garden party version, consider an elegant tulip-shaped champagne glass, which captures the aromatic qualities of the mint better than the standard flute. Crystal glassware will elevate the presentation, but frankly, any champagne glass will work beautifully. To prepare our cocktail, you're going to begin by preparing your peach puree if you're making it from scratch. You're going to bring a small pot of water to a boil, cut a small X on the bottom of each peach, and then blanch in boiling water for about 30 seconds. Transfer immediately to an ice bath, and once cool, the skin should slip off easily. Then remove the pits and cup the peaches into chunks. Puree in a blender until completely smooth. Pass through a fine mesh sieve to remove any fibrous bits. Chill thoroughly before using. Warm puree will cause the Prosecco to lose carbonation incredibly rapidly. For each cocktail, take 4 to 5 mint leaves and place them in the bottom of a mixing glass, not the serving glass, and gently muddle the mint using a muddler or the back of a wooden spoon. Press firmly enough to release the oils without shredding the leaves. We want the aromatic oils, not the bitter compounds. Then we're going to add 2 ounces of the chilled peach puree to the mixing glass and the muddled mint. Stir gently to incorporate. Then fill your champagne flute 2/3 full with chilled Prosecco, pouring down the sides of the glass to preserve the carbonation. And then carefully strain the mint-infused peach puree into the flute, allowing it to settle at the bottom and gradually blend with the Prosecco. The color should create a beautiful gradient effect from the pale peach at the bottom to the golden at the top. For a more thoroughly mixed cocktail, you can gently stir once or twice with a long bar spoon, being careful not to agitate too viciously or cause the Prosecco to overflow. Then you're going to garnish with a small fresh mint sprig or a thin slice of peach balanced on the rim of the glass. For an extra special presentation, you can use both and float the tiny mint leaves on top of the thin peach slice. Pair with light appetizers like prosciutto wrapped melon, goat cheese crostini, or a smoked salmon canapé to complement the delicate flavors of the cocktail. For a zero-proof version, substitute sparkling water or non-alcoholic sparkling white grape juice for the Prosecco. In closing, the mint and peach Bellini brings together the best of Italian cocktail tradition with fresh garden inspiration. It's elegant yet approachable, with a balance of sweetness, freshness, and effervescence that makes it perfect for celebrating life's beautiful moments outdoors this season. As always, I'm open to hear your take and your input. You can reach me at brian@bourbongospel.com. And until next week, as Mark Twain said, too much of anything is bad, but too much whiskey is barely enough. Reporting for the About Mansfield podcast, I'm Brian Certain.
We're back in 60 seconds with Steve's interview about fireflies in Mansfield.
Imagine a city where innovation knows no bounds, where dreams take flight, and the future unfolds before your very eyes. Welcome to Mansfield, a beacon of growth and a testament to vision. In the heart of Mansfield, a remarkable transformation is underway. But it's not just about the physical landscape. It's about the spirit that drives us forward. A spirit of collaboration that bridges cultures, a spirit of entrepreneurship that fuels prosperity, and a spirit of community that binds us as one. Mansfield is more than just a place. It's a canvas where diversity paints the picture of progress. From art festivals that ignite creativity to tech hubs that redefine boundaries, this city celebrates every voice, every passion. Mansfield, where growth knows no limits and the vision is limitless. Brought to you by the unstoppable spirit of the Mansfield Economic Development Corporation.
Hi, I'm Dr. Janine Huang with United Dermatology Associates, and you are listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to another segment of About Mansfield. I'm Steve Casillo as we make the transition from news to talk. And we got a couple of gentlemen in the studio today. One of them is a leading firefly researcher and conservationist based in New Braunfels. He's a sixth-generation Texan, developed a deep appreciation for the state's unique ecology while exploring the Texas Hill Country and South Texas brushlands. In 2009, he created Firefly Conservation and Research, which is a nonprofit organization dedicated to studying and protecting fireflies and their habitats. In the studio today, we welcome Ben Pfeiffer. Welcome to About Mansfield.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Also in the studio, he is a property owner here in Mansfield, is Louis Hardin.
Yes, sir.
And welcome to About Mansfield.
Thanks for having us.
Now, the purpose of this is because there's been a lot of interest in Mansfield about fireflies, and predominantly because they're all over Louis's property here in Mansfield. Yeah. And which is in the downtown area. Louis, you brought Ben up into Mansfield. Again, Ben's from New Braunfels. Why is Ben here?
You know, I've just been trying to get an expert opinion. Getting people down to see what I've seen has been difficult to do, really. I wrote down a date here. I've been trying to get Ben down here since January of 21. So,
Ben, why did it take so long to get to Mansfield?
As we were talking about it last night, I think that it exceeded his expectations. I think he thought, like a lot of people, you don't quite believe what I'm saying. It just sounds a little bit too good to be true.
Yeah.
I think he had said that he thought maybe he'd see 100 fireflies, that kind of a thing. I don't know what that. When you say that 100 fireflies, is that? Are you looking at an area and think, okay, there's 100 fireflies that live here? Are you thinking, I'm going to see 100 flashes? Or what? How would you define that?
Yeah, the population density might be about 100, and then you might see maybe like 10, 12 flashes, something like that.
How do you – it's probably like counting jelly beans is what I would say. I would think. It's probably no way of really saying, but if you were expecting 100, what do you think maybe you saw? I mean,
definitely 10 times that. I'd probably estimate there's probably like 10,000 probably fireflies in there.
Wow.
There's just so many you don't see. And
10,000 on Louis's property?
Likely, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, I went out, note to the listeners, I went out to Louis's property on last Friday night. My wife and I, we were overwhelmed that it was pretty cool. Now, my wife and I, we travel, we hike, and even in the back of our subdivision, which also borders Walnut Creek, you may see firefly here, firefly there, but on your property, which is out close to the man house, close to the dog park.
Yeah, it's real close to the dog park.
And Ben, you're saying maybe in the thousands. Mm-hmm. So maybe we were on a slow night, but
it was. I mean, I think I was counting. I was going to ask you guys to count. I didn't. What I'll ask people to do, and I really started doing it this last night, is as you guys saw, I'll set the timer for 10 seconds and I'll ask you to count how many. That's what I've been doing for a while. Last year, I saw up to 80 flashes in a 10-second period. Last night, we were seeing probably 50 to 60 flashes within a 10-second period. So if you do the math on that over a minute, over 10 minutes, and it'll peak and it'll flow, it'll build up, it'll slow down, but it's just a lot. Now, when I think you came, we were probably seeing around 20. It was still an amazing show, and I think the heat of the day before that we were seeing possibly 103 degrees or something. I don't know what it ended up being, but it was a hot day. I think maybe that affected it a little bit. And I think we showed up a little later. The next day, they showed up probably 30 minutes earlier than I would have expected.
Yeah.
Last night, they were right on the time that I would have expected. So I think we kind of missed the peak when you were there, but you still saw what an amazing show it was.
Ben, as the expert, do fireflies tend to congregate together? Because as I mentioned, walking the back trail in our subdivision, there's one here, there's one there, but do they tend to stick together in groups?
Yeah, there's a population that occurs in a certain area, and males are flying to signal to females, and they'll generally stay together. It just depends on the genus. Some will fly up to a couple miles away from where they kind of spent the night, the day. They Photinus pyralis, which is a primary species on the Hardin property, it's going to stay pretty confined to that area.
Let's break it down for the listeners. First of all, Firefly 101.
Yeah.
What is a firefly?
Yeah.
And why do they light up?
Well, they're not a fly. They're a beetle.
They're a beetle.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of people know them by names like lightning bugs, fireflies. It just depends on where you're from, depending on it. There's about 180 species here in the United States.
Wow.
And there's some that are diurnal and some that flash at night. And so daytime.
Diurnal.
Diurnal would basically daytime flying.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. And so Texas has about 40 to 45 species. And so that's a tremendous amount of diversity that we've got here in the state. And it's definitely worth protecting. Some of the other states like Florida and Georgia have some of the other highest concentrations. Mm-hmm. So we're right up there at the height of diversity here in Texas.
And they light up because?
They light up because it's a form of sexual communication. So,
nice.
Yeah, males
so
are...
this is foreplay then?
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of funny because males are broadcasting to females and females are looking for certain things in certain males. And so a lot of times I ask people in my presentation, I'm like, what do female fireflies like in male fireflies? And so I get some funny answers sometimes.
Sure. Yeah. Light my fire.
Yeah, a sense of humor. It's a good one. But it's really like the females looking for longer flashes or faster flash rates because all of those things are going to signal the health and fitness of a male individual. But yeah, so there's primarily a form of sexual communication that they're flashing. And some use pheromones, some use light. Some are daytime flying and some are nighttime. The majority of what you're going to see is daytime flying. And so, yeah, it makes up for a really diverse mix here.
Tell me about the fireflies you found on Louis's property.
He's got a very healthy population. And the reason why I can say that is when you look at some of the ones that I caught, they're large in size, they're healthy, there's abundance to eat. And so that's in the Photinus genus. And those are going to be the early kind of dusk flying fireflies. Later in the evening, you get different genuses that come out. Until a huge survey is done on Louis's property, he's got primarily the Photinus species of firefly.
What do fireflies eat?
Yeah, so they're habitat specific. So it means that they crave a certain type of habitat. And it's typically habitat that's going to be on a riparian corridor and sometimes the upland areas in that mixed area. So it's kind of that slope that you get from a river or creek. His habitat is primarily riparian, and there's a wide diversity of plants in there. I saw switchgrass last night, inland sea oats, a variety of different forbs that were sprouting up. And so he's got a remnant kind of mixed prairies kind of situation going on there that creates a really incredible habitat for the food that fireflies eat, which is snails, earthworms. In fact, I collected a few snails last night that I'm going to find out the genus and a species, and I'm going to send to a researcher who's looking at firefly food. But that's really why he's got it. He's just got the right habitat, and it's been relatively protected for a good long amount of time. Now, it might have been agricultural cattle at some point. Mm-hmm. It's been mowed, of course, but existing, what he's got fenced off right now is pretty special.
Is it possible maybe half a mile down the road, the environment's the same, maybe next to a creek, but it may not be as busy as in some areas?
Yeah, so if you look at Louis's property, what makes it really unique is kind of the convergence of different streams that are going on and the slope to it. So he's got the back creek, and then there's an ephemeral stream that comes down, and it slopes. And what that does is really concentrating the moisture there. Yeah, and so that's making it really unique. So upstream, there might be a property that's similar, but it might be drier, for example. And he's got the darkness that they need. Not a lot of light, and then obviously the vegetation and the food. And it's just kind of a unique spot for it. I've seen places like this before, and you walk right by them and not even really know, but a place might get flooded regularly, and that just creates a really moist environment for the fireflies to live. So very, very unique place.
Can someone who is a property owner create an environment that's firefly friendly?
Yes, they can. And it takes a little work, but you really are trying to accomplish like 4 main elements for it. Gardeners are some of the best friends for fireflies because they tend to add like really good amendments to their soil that makes it really rich and organic. And what that does is it attracts females to lay eggs in their garden, basically. And so, I can't tell you the amount of emails and calls I've gotten about somebody that like had fireflies in a flower pot, or in their garden. And so, you can definitely attract fireflies to your location if you got the right elements.
What are some of the ways of some other ways to preserve the property? Yeah, so you kind of have to back it up and go, what are you actually doing if you want to attract fireflies? Yeah. You're really trying to provide habitat for females to lay eggs. All right. And places for her to find cover. And so that's just good, rich soil, exposure to the soil subsurface level, good plant vegetation to retain moisture on the property. And then providing habitat for larvae, because what most people don't know is fireflies spend most of their life in the larval state. And then kind of what I like to call operational cover for males that are flashing to females. And so that's kind of different canopy heights of trees, and then, low vegetation. And so, there's a wide variety of things that you can do to help fireflies out. Okay. Louis, do we want to talk about the firefly experience?
Yeah. I feel like at this point, what I've done is just created the Mansfield Firefly Experience Facebook page and created events around this. I've capped at about 20 people a night, and I'm filling it up every night, weekdays, weekends. This last Friday, I could have had probably 50 people, but I just had to turn people away. I've found that it's different. It's interesting. People want to talk about it. They want to share it. I've got a lot of shares and so on. I'm not a social media person. I don't really do much myself. Yeah. I've had to kind of figure it out as I've gone. But you're a computer guy. Yeah, I am. So I go home and really don't want to mess with them. That's right. I'd rather go out and see my fireflies. You
fix computers. You
yes.
Don't, okay.
Yes.
You're not one of the keyboard warriors out there.
Yeah, and I do more of the business side of that now too. I've done it all within my company, but I do want to mention the Mansfield Firefly Experience. I would like to have comments. I thought about even a petition, maybe something like that. The only thing about it is I'm getting so much response. It's almost overwhelming, really. Yeah. It's hard to keep up with all the messages I'm getting as I'm taking reservations via Messenger. I don't have a system in place to do that. So I'm just having to individually respond to each of them. And the response has really been overwhelming, and reviews, even like your own, I've not had anyone disappointed. I've been taking a quick survey at the end, and the numbers that I'm getting have been amazing. I mean, everyone is very excited about coming out again, telling their friends. There was a lady last night that came out, and she is booked out a full day coming up because she wants to bring back 20 of her friends. Right. So that's the kind of thing. There's I don't remember her name, but there's someone here, I believe, in the Mansfield Garden Club. She wants to do the same thing, bring out the whole club. So it is. I feel like word of mouth. It could really easily become overwhelming. I do feel like for tourism in historic Mansfield, I think it could be an incredible thing. I think it could bring people down to the restaurants and to the museums right before, because they're going to come out. Your iPhone app is going to tell you when the sun sets. Yeah. That's pretty much when they're going to be there. They'll be there a few minutes before. So, I mean, it's clockwork. They're going to show up every night. They don't fail. It's going to go for 2.5 months. And in at least 2 years, I've seen that they've come back out in the fall and put on a whole nother show. Wow. So it could be anywhere from 2-4 months out of the year that you're going to be able to consistently go down and see them every night. So right now, it's my own little private paradise, and I love it. But if the park trail comes through, and That's right. The park trail, the linear trail, the Walnut Creek linear trail is actually going to border your property. It's gonna go right through this sanctuary. It's gonna go right through this habitat, and I almost feel like it's the opportunity for people to to be part of a fairy tale in a way. I mean, as you're in this scenario where you're going to walk down this path, they're going to be surrounding you. You know, if you're at the right time of day, they're going to be completely surrounding you. And when you're seeing up to 60 flashes in 10 seconds, I mean, they're everywhere. And it's a 360 thing.
How long have you had your property?
Since 2019.
When did you first discover the fireflies?
Well, that area where I found them, it had been overgrown. It was down towards the creek, and there was a pathway you could get through. But other than that, you couldn't really explore. It was just too dense. Just more woody stuff that had come up a little too much.
Yeah.
So I had a forestry mulcher come in, which is basically like a bobcat with a grinder on the front.
Okay.
It's very environmentally friendly because it just chips everything up and puts it down on the floor, which I think helped the environment. Ben and I were talking about that last night, that it probably helped where this food is living to give a little more space to spread out underneath the floor there.
Well, beetles like chipped wood, don't they? Is it?
Well, it just provides a place for them to hide. Yeah,
Okay.
different beetles eat wood, but fireflies says beetles. Essentially what he did was he basically provided better habitat for the snails and the stuff that firefly larvae there. So he already had a good population, but he just created a good habitat. In terms of helping the plant growth and stuff, it was just a combination of stuff. And
I think it just kind of lucked out. I've talked to other people that have a firefly tour. Most of these people, it is overwhelming. Once they open up to the public, there's one in Louisiana. I think and most of them are in rural areas. That's the other thing. Most of it, we talk about the Smoky Mountains. They have only about a 2.5 week season or something for the synchronous fire. And they have 21,000 people on waiting lists to get in. It's a lottery system.
21,000.
And in Pennsylvania, they have the Pennsylvania Firefly Festival. I've spoke to them, the butlers, same kind of thing. They bought the property. They discovered they had fireflies. They got a lot of attention from universities and so on. They decided to open it up to the public, and there's videos and so on of it. But it grew so quickly that very quickly they had 1,100 people show up in a single day. And the problem they encountered is that damaged the environment that they were trying to protect. Mm-hmm. So as people got outside and just they couldn't control it. And I've almost seen that myself, where it was hard for me to kind of keep people in line or in the areas that I need them to be. So it really can do more damage as there's too many people. There's a lot of information out about firefly tourism, and that it seems to be the thing. There's over 1 million people a year that travel to see fireflies. And I think it's real big in Asia and other areas. Mm-hmm. The Smokies is probably the big one here, and places like the Pennsylvania Firefly Festival. Now, those are the synchronous firefly. This is not the synchronous firefly. This is the most common firefly.
Yeah.
But it's just uncommon, the numbers and the just amount that you're going to see. So I really feel like open to the public, it really could be an amazing draw for historic Mansfield, and it's right in the right place.
And I was going to say a note to the listeners, we are not going to give the exact address because we don't want people showing up out of the blue. This is something that your tours are by reservation only.
Exactly.
And that's when you get the address. This is not a commercial aspect because you are doing this for free. People show up, and but it is right there in downtown Mansfield, let's say between Main Street and the dog park. Mm-hmm. How can people find out more information about the Mansfield Firefly experience?
You can just take a look at the Facebook page. I haven't put too much up there, but you can see from the responses and the comments, you can see the excitement that's building. I'm getting a lot of shares, a lot of likes. Like I say, people are interested in it. And it is different. It stands out. I don't think that, and Ben, you could probably answer this. Do you think there's any area that you could go to in any given night within the season that you were going to see fireflies like I've got here?
Yeah, I have some places that are like that. A lot of them are on private property or on nature preserves, state parks, state natural areas.
Yeah.
So you just have such a large population, and it's very unique.
You presented Louis with a sign that says Firefly Habitat. You just don't hand those out to everyone, do you?
No. So I certified Louis's property. It's a certified Firefly Habitat program with Firefly Conservation and Research. And people can go to firefly.org and purchase a sign. It's a self-directed program, and they really need 4 elements in order to qualify. And so that's providing good plant diversity to preserve soil moisture, restricting pesticide usage, eliminating light pollution. and providing cover for adults and larvae. And so Lewis's property qualifies for all of that. And so he's a perfect candidate for the program that I started, the Certified Property.
Firefly.org.
Yes.
Is the Firefly Conservation and Research website?
Yes, firefly.org.
Okay. And then on Facebook, the Mansfield Firefly Experience is what people can go in. And if you're going to message the experience, you're a working guy, so be patient.
Yeah.
But you will respond.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. I want public awareness of what is happening there. I would like to have the parks in the city embrace it, understand what's going on. I'd really like to call on, the Park Development Board, the City Council, the Parks Department. I've emailed several of the heads there to try to get people to come out and see it. Because, again, you can't get it on video well. You can't take pictures well. So it really requires witnesses. And I think if they come out and see it and they just see the magic that is and the potential that is there, to share it with the public and to create an environment that will bring people into this beautiful historic area. The dog park is very close. Phase 2 is one thing that I definitely want to make sure that we're not doing any harm there. That there is a pond that they're going to be redoing back there as part of the Phase 2. Lighting is going to go in. I want to make sure that lighting is not affecting light pollution back there closer to the creek.
Right.
So the lighting that's up further into the parking lots and so on is, like park lighting. It's very bright and parking lot lighting. But as you go down and they're going to go into the Phase 2, I just need them to be aware. I need them to see. There's a gentleman at the Parks Department has told me that is their trusted expert. He's, I believe, at Cedar Hill now. I'm trying to reach out to him because that's the kind of eyes that I want on it, like Ben or people that can really look at it in an educated manner and advise the city on how they should approach it and protecting them. One of the things that Ben said the other day that I thought was really interesting is like there's remnants of cotton gins and mills from the 1800s down there, and we were talking about those people there were probably seeing this same firefly that was there, and it's here 100 plus years later, and they're still there. So I found that absolutely fascinating because my biggest fear is they disappear. I don't want that.
Yeah, just like we drove by the Mann House last night, and just like they preserved that so well, this is the same. They needed the same thing with this. It's the same thing that those people that built that house 100-something plus years ago saw, and it's a valuable part of the past and the future for Mansfield. It's how well do you preserve something like that is going to be the question asked like 30, 40, 50 years from now. And I will say that this is probably the best it's going to get for fireflies. And if concentrated work's not done in order to preserve that habitat, then it's just going to slowly disappear and fade till it's no longer there.
There are no more fireflies.
Right. And I say this is kind of an interesting way to think about it. Fireflies are disappearing because people want it that way. And there's the incentives there that are causing massive habitat disruption, whether it's development for residential and commercial. And a lot of times during that process, it's going through so fast that proper questions aren't being asked and preparation to protect things aren't being done. I mean, this is my first time in Mansfield, and I will say I can feel the groan of the development that's going on around here.
Oh, it's happening.
It's booming.
It looks like everything's new, and what's happening is there's going to be a loss of a lot of remnant prairie land, native habitat, and stuff like that. People in 20 years from now are going to be asking. I'm from New Braunfels, and it's one of the fastest growing places in Texas. But interestingly enough, now there's really a lot of concentrated talk about, well, we're losing all of our native lands. Yeah. It's disappearing, and how do we save it? And so these conservation groups are starting to sprout up to try to save Comal County land. Well, this should have happened 10 years ago in order to try to save land there. So it's almost like it's too late, really, for this stuff. And these places are eventually going to become landlocked, like Plano and some of those places where they don't have any more land to develop because it's all developed basically. And there's just there's going to be people that are going to start coming and going, well, what's left?
Right.
What native habitats are left? And Mansfield's in this stage where they can still protect certain places for future generations. Fireflies are a perfect thing to protect for future generations. One, kids love it.
Right.
You know, it's going to add to the quality of life by people being able to get out into nature. And so, the city government really needs to step up and start protecting this. If they don't, then they're really behind the curve. And, people are going to be asking lots of serious questions from now. Well, why didn't you, want to protect that? And why didn't you take concentrated efforts to do this? Lewis's property, they want to put a potential trail there. And there's some just easy changes they could make in order to preserve that. Like a raised platform that goes through there, like lighting that's near the dog park or the pond that's like red or amber lights.
Sure.
These are things that other places without the country and out the world are doing to do it. And, what a great story it could be is if Mansfield could just champion, look what we preserved.
Absolutely.
Is there anything that you want to add as we start to wrap up this interview to conclude? Anything our listeners should know?
Well, here's a cool fact. The fireflies that we have here in Texas are kind of the ancestral fireflies that spread out through the rest of the United States. So think about its living history, really, what we have here. After the last Miocene 6 million years ago, species started to split, and they started to spread out as the glaciers receded. So what we have here in Texas is the OG firefly.
I was just going to say OG.
Yeah. So that's really cool to protect.
Nice.
I will add, in this process that the city's considering making changes and stuff like that. And the other thing is working with developers to, champion preserving some habitat, saving old trees, and being a culture that wants to preserve that native habitat because it's part of the history, just like the man house and all that. It goes hand in hand. It's the same thing they saw. Responsible planning will definitely benefit Lewis's fireflies and for future generations.
I feel like the Parks Department wants to do that. I mean, they have a lot of nature parks. They're about to develop that 100 acres there, which is going to be a nature park as well. Mm-hmm. The Oliver Nature Park is beautiful. The trail is, for the most part, natural. I don't know to what extent they use any chemicals in what they do there. I think they want to do the right thing. But I definitely want them to see the potential. I want them to see – and all they have to do is look. I can't present it to them without them coming down to look at it.
Firefly.org is Firefly Conservation and Research. That's Ben Pfeiffer out of New Braunfels. And by the way, welcome to Mansfield.
Thank you. It's been a joy to come here. I really like to see a lot. We got to go downtown and enjoy some of the stuff downtown and the restaurant and whatnot. So, wonderful place that y'all have here.
And the Mansfield Firefly Experience, that's Louis Hardin, a property owner here in Mansfield, in downtown Mansfield. Check out his Facebook page. Guys, I sure appreciate it. And again, thank you for inviting me out last Friday. It was wonderful.
So happy to have you. Thank you for having us on and helping people be aware of what's actually going on, because that's what we're looking for.
Thanks for being on About Mansfield.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Coming up next week on About Mansfield, we will talk in studio with a nonprofit founder who is doing some great things with Mansfield's youth. In the meantime, this is the place where you'll hear the latest Mansfield news, talk, and information. Until then, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and share, love, or support this podcast if you haven't already, so you never miss an episode. Hey, it's free and it's easy. Head on over to our website, aboutmansfield.com. Right there on the homepage, enter your email address. We will never, ever, 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 ever send you any spam. That is my promise to you.
About Mansfield is recorded at Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio. Hosts Steve Casillo and Colleen Daniel. Moment with the Mayor feature Michael Evans. Methodist Mansfield News to Know Angel Biasatti. Cultural Arts Calendar Tim Roberts. Cocktail of the Week Brian Certain. Post-production editing, mixing, and mastering Steve Casillo and Andrew Miner.
This podcast is copyrighted by Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this podcast without written consent is strictly prohibited. We thank you all for listening on behalf of the entire news team. I'm Steve Casillo, and this is About Mansfield.